The design you see here has been produced using Vectorworks. The symbology you can see is relatively simple, although there's one rather complex symbol down here. There's some hatching on the driveway, and the vehicle symbol is sitting on top of the hatching, as you would expect. Our aim is to see whether we can take a DXF file exported from Vectorworks into GCAD+. We're going to export from Vectorworks as a DXF file and then insert that DXF file into the GCAD+ environment and see if we can work with a drawing such as this. Well, we'll start GCAD+, and here we are at the opening screen. So we'll pick File and New, and we have a few templates here. Don't forget you can add your own templates, and you probably should develop a template for your particular design studio, complete with your logo and other information. But I digress. Let's just take the default template. We'll say OK. The next thing is to import a DXF file. That's done via File, DXF, and we're going to bring DXF file in. I've put one on the desktop, which I have called Front Garden DXF. It's exported from Vectorworks as a text DXF. You can export binary DXF, but GCAD+ wants to use the text form. So I'll pick Open. We jump into a layout space, so that implies that Vectorworks was using some form of layout space, but the conversion to DXF has missed that information. We are only interested at the moment in what's in the model, and here's our design being transferred across. I recommend that you change your view and to a background colour of white, and that helps things stand out a little more. Now you can see we've got some of the geometry across, but not all. The symbol for the car is sitting there reasonably well. It's a block, so we could go Tools and Draw Order and bring it to the front, and now in theory it should sit above the hatch patterns there. But again, because of the way the block's been drawn, we can see very easily through it, and it doesn't create the sort of effect that I want. But again, I digress a little. The geometry is there, although some of the symbology is a problem. We need to pick the text looks awkward to me, so let's have a look at this text. The text Griselda is contained within a block, so to edit a block, you right click and select Edit the Block. I want to find out what text style this is. It's a text style called Handwriting Dakota, and I don't have that particular one. And notice also that there's some information in the form of AutoCAD attributes, which we also don't need, so we'll remove those. What I'm going to do is redefine that text style to a style that makes things a little easier to read and a little tidier. I'll close the block editor, and you can see that let's pick another one here, and we'll just fix this one up relatively quickly, and I'll get rid of those and erase them and come back here and close the block editor. Can you see we're improving things? We've got another one to do, but as we work fairly quickly through there, we will clean up things. But the text is bothering me. It's a little awkward. So let's have a look at what's happened to that text style. Draw, text, and no, we don't want to draw. We want to go Format and Text Styles, and there it is, Handwriting Dakota. So what I might do is create a new text style, and I'll set the font that I'm going to use with it to, we'll say Arial Narrow, because my look at the PDF file suggests that Vectorworks was using an Arial font. And I'll say, okay, so it's called Style 1. We'll rename that style a little later. And in theory now, we need to change the text style, we actually need, because it's been written in a handwriting Dakota style, I actually need to change that also to Arial narrow, and then we'll get a global change of text. That's better. So in one hit we changed all the text to a text style that's pretty similar to the one that was used in Vectorworks. So we can do that and close the block editor. So you can see, certainly on the left hand side here, I'm cleaning things up reasonably well. I'll now move to this symbol down here, which you remember had some green colour in it, and it didn't translate perfectly. So I can pick it, edit that block, and I might edit that block again, so there's actually a nested block. It's been one block inside the other. That one's called Group 1. Let me just close the block editor and pick it. So it's called Shrub 5TP, and inside Shrub 5TP is another block called Group 5.1, and I'm going to explode that, and then hopefully I can pick this polyline, which has got a cubic B-spline curve fitting to it. I'll change its colour to some sort of green colour that roughly matches what we saw in the earlier one. Then I'm going to use modify match properties and pick, in fact I'll pick a whole lot of these at once, and so I'm matching that green like so. Now I'll pick another one, change its colour to, let's say, a darker green, and apply a fill. And again we'll use match properties. You can see I'm using the right mouse button to do this. Whoops, well that's produced an interesting effect, and I'm not sure I really want that colour on that one. I'll just go by layer. Oh, that's even worse. I will give that particular entity, I'll take the fill off from that one, and then I'll close my block editor. Here we got a symbol. We could spend a little more time on it, but can you see that by quickly whipping through and editing our blocks, getting rid of these attributes. The Vectorworks wasn't using those attributes, by the way, and GCAD Plus doesn't. We've just about cleaned the drawing up. We've really only got this problem I see with this symbol here. I'm not sure whether the problem is caused by the hatching. I presume that's hatching. No, that's actually a block. So let's edit that block. What's inside the block? It's another block called Group 3.1. So Vectorworks, I can edit that further. So what are these? These are just lines, a whole mass of lines. So let me close the block editor. I can remove that hatching, and it's an easy matter to add some hatching to that driveway, and we could even edit our symbol of the vehicle if we want. Don't forget that in GCAD Plus you've got library, details and vehicles, and we could have a large car and insert it into the drawing, and there's our large car. So the Vectorworks car is even bigger than ours. I think that's a huge car. Let's see what its length is from nose to tail. That's 5.5 metres. The folks who own this house must have quite a lot of money and can afford a big Range Rover or similar vehicle. So I hope that shows how to convert a drawing from GCAD Plus, a drawing from Vectorworks into GCAD Plus.